Poseidon, the god of the sea, earthquakes and horses. A figure of immense power and majesty, but beneath the surface of his watery realm lies a tale of obsession, lust, and heartbreak. He wasn't just the ruler of the waves, he was also the god who pursued countless women, leaving a trail of scandal and sorrow in his wake. Poseidon's domain stretched across the vast oceans, but his desires knew no boundaries. He had a reputation, no, a legendary appetite for romance and conquest, both mortal and divine. Let's dive into the stories of the women entangled in Poseidon's web, starting with the one he chose to be his queen. But as we explore, we'll also ask the question, was Poseidon truly a sex addict, or was he simply a product of the patriarchal world of Greek mythology? The reluctant queen, Amphitrite. Amphitrite, a nereid of unmatched beauty, caught Poseidon's eye. But here's the twist, she didn't want him. Amphitrite fled to the ends of the world to escape his advances. Yet Poseidon, persistent as ever, sent a dolphin to plead his case. Reluctantly, Amphitrite agreed to marry him. Was it love or resignation? That's the question that haunts their union. Medusa. From beauty to tragedy. Before Medusa became the infamous Gorgon, she was a mortal priestess of Athena, renowned for her beauty. Poseidon was captivated, and one fateful day, he cornered her in Athena's temple. But instead of punishing Poseidon for defiling her temple, Athena cursed Medusa. Her hair became snakes, her gaze turned men to stone, and Poseidon, he walked away unscathed. This story forces us to ask, did Poseidon act out of lust or arrogance? And why was the blame placed entirely on Medusa? Was this a reflection of Poseidon's own misogyny, or the misogynistic values of ancient Greek society, where women were often scapegoated for the actions of powerful men? Demeter's rejection and the horse. Even the goddess Demeter wasn't spared from Poseidon's pursuits. After she rejected him, Poseidon transformed into a stallion to chase her. Yes, you heard that right. A stallion. To escape, Demeter transformed into a mare, but Poseidon caught her. Their union resulted in the birth of Arion, a divine horse with incredible speed. This bizarre tale raises the question, was Poseidon's relentless pursuit a sign of addiction? Or was it simply another example of unchecked power, where gods saw their desires as rights and women as prizes? Was Poseidon a sex addict or a misogynist? Let's pause for a moment and think. Was Poseidon truly a sex addict, driven by uncontrollable lust? Or was he a misogynist, viewing women, mortal or divine, as little more than objects for his gratification? Perhaps it's both, or neither. Poseidon's actions may not reflect personal flaws as much as they mirror the values of the society that created him. Ancient Greek myths often glorified male dominance and treated women as tools for storytelling, vessels for beauty, revenge, or tragedy. But does that excuse Poseidon's behavior? In a modern lens, he could be seen as an abuser of power, exploiting his godly status for personal gain. The real tragedy lies with the women in these stories, used, discarded, and too often blamed for their own suffering. The mortal women, Aethra and others. Poseidon's conquests weren't limited to goddesses and nymphs. Aethra, a mortal princess, bore him a son, Theseus, one of Greece's greatest heroes. But like many gods, Poseidon rarely stayed to play the role of a father. For these women, Poseidon's love often meant chaos. While they gained a place in legend, they paid a heavy price. Amphitrite, Medusa, Demeter, Aethra, their names are etched in legend, but their stories reveal the cost of being desired by a god. Whether Poseidon was a sex addict, a misogynist, or simply a flawed reflection of his time, one thing is clear. His legacy is one of power, but also of pain. But here's the difference. In today's world, people are fighting back. The Poseidons of our time, those who use their power for selfish gains, are being held accountable. Movements like Me Too and global calls for equality are pushing back against the godlike untouchability that figures like Poseidon once embodied. The question is, will this new generation of men learn from the myths of the past? Can they wield power responsibly, or will they repeat the mistakes of Poseidon? Poseidon's story is more than a myth. It's a mirror, a reflection of power, desire, and its consequences across time. Whether we're talking about gods or modern men, the lesson remains the same. Unchecked power breeds injustice. So, what do you think? Is Poseidon just a product of his time, or is he a warning for ours? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're curious about how mythology connects to today's world, subscribe to The Chronicles Untold. Because the past isn't just history, it's a story waiting to be understood.